So today I'll be addressing 3 steps to creating vivid settings. But first, I want to address one common misconception. A lot of writers think that to create a setting in which readers feel that they're really in the story, that they have to describe every minute detail and get everything perfectly accurate. If they're at a place in the real world, like a real location, whether that be Times Square or maybe Faneuil Hall in Boston, forgive me if I didn't pronounce that right. A lot of people think that they have to describe every architectural thing right and get the color of the sidewalk and the name of the specific arch on the doorway. People go into crazy detail on this stuff, and I think that although accuracy is important, readers don't care about that. They just want to feel like they're there, and none of those little details that writers tend to get themselves bogged down into really help create the vibe that the readers are going to feel and then be able to create their own settings with. Now it's my 3 steps to creating vivid settings. So the first step is picturing it in your own mind. Whether you're writing about aliens on Mars or even just 2 people sitting in a hammock on a tropical island, which I'd love to be one of those people, it's super important to give yourself the time to really feel like you're in the setting. Like you can almost touch around you. I'm sounding crazy now. This is what I do. I sit in my desk chair and I pretend like I'm one of the characters in the novel. And like I can touch the hammock. I can feel the breath of the salty air. When I put myself in the position of the character and into the scene, I can really pick out what's most poignant to the reader and what will help convey the same feeling that I'm feeling. And the next step is to really try and convey this feeling. And that's a lot easier than it sounds. I think a lot of writers overthink about how they can somehow create this feeling, but it's really very simple. The 5 senses that most of us are familiar with are the best places to start. Describe the character seeing, smelling, but they can feel and touch. Never go too overboard with this. Going overkill and describing every little thing that the character sees in a room is definitely not beneficial. When authors forget to mention the sensory characteristics of the environment that the characters are in the story, it really can take away from the environment. Just adding the simple feeling of the air or even just the taste of something on the character's lips or slight tension that the character can feel in the air is super important. And adding these little details to your story is going to really be able to convey a feeling in your readers, and they'll be able to really get the feeling that you want. It's also important to keep in mind that when creating these feelings, they have to be believable. If you want to try and create suspense in your environment, likely just a bunch of clouds appearing on the middle of a sunny day and, a thunderstorm happening, it's a little cliche. And although that might help to create the right vibe in your setting, it's better to get creative about things and try and figure out how you can create a believable setting so that not only do readers feel like they're there, but they believe like it's actually happening. That's the best thing that can happen in a story, when you not only believe like, whoa, this is cool, I kind of feel like I'm there, but you're like, well, this could actually happen in the real world. I wish I could see that. The third step in creating vivid settings is for authors to remember, when creating these settings, we have our own picture in our mind of what it's going to look like. And after we've really taken the time to develop that picture and feel like we're inside it, our goal isn't to try and convey that same exact picture. Our goal is instead to convey the feelings and emotions and sensations that we had when we are there and translate that to the reader so that they can then interpret, taking the little tidbits of information you have given them, and create their own picture of what the environment is. In this way, we'll be able to have each of our readers have this entirely different pictures of what our worlds are like. And that's awesome. But the important part of being a storyteller is remembering that story all comes back to how we make the reader or our audience feel. And when conveying settings, it's not about the facts. It's not about the color of the wall or, even overthinking the exact position of objects in the room. It's all about conveying a certain feeling to the reader, whether that be wonderment, fear, suspense, that keeps them wanting to turn the page and keeps them enjoying your novel. I hope this was helpful in helping you all form more vivid settings. If you have any questions about how to form vivid settings or any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And it would be super appreciated if you could subscribe to this channel and leave a like in this video. Thank you everyone for watching, and happy writing.